Hello folks and welcome back to another video. And I have come here today to talk about, that's right, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So as you would have already known by my constant bragging on social media, I have been swinging and kicking around in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 for the PS5 for more than 2 weeks now. A massive thanks to Sony PlayStation India and Insomniac Games for providing an early review code for this game. From this fact alone, that they were ready to provide review codes almost 3 weeks before launch is proof enough of how confident they are on their game. So here are my thoughts after completing Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. This is not a review folks, but just what I felt when playing this game non-stop for the last 2 weeks. The main reason why Insomniac's Spider-Man 1 was the fastest selling PlayStation exclusive back in 2018 was its gameplay. The gameplay was so exceptionally good and unique in so many different ways that you never got bored throwing dudes out of 50-story buildings and waving them onto the side of the glass windows because Spider-Man follows Batman. If you have ever played the Avengers Spider-Man expansion, you will appreciate this game even more, if you catch my drift. Swinging through the towering skyscrapers of New York, beating people up black and blue for the most pettiest of crimes, and yanking lowlifes out of running carts never felt exhausting. This time around too, this is no different. The gameplay in Spider-Man 2 is all that is good with Spider-Man 1, dialed up to 10 and then some. The combat is as usual the most fluid combat mechanics you have seen in a brawler. The main upgrade however this time around is the web swinging mechanism. It's incredibly fast, immensely responsive and much more refined. Complete control now rests in your hands and it feels insanely smooth. There's also a swing assist option in the menu that you can dial down to as low as 0, which brings a completely new dimension to swinging in Spider-Man 2. When at 0, the swinging is much more manual as factors like physics, swing direction and tension are applied to your webs, at which point swinging becomes much more skill-based and going from point A to point B feels like a great challenge and fun in itself. The original Spider-Man swinging was somewhat slow with limited swinging animations. Thanks to the power of the PS5, both our Spider-Man can now move at incredibly high speeds through New York, mainly due to the new additions like the web wings and slingshot mechanism. The new addition to the game is of course the web wings gliding, which again feels very smooth and fast when you actually play with it. It lets both Peter and Miles cover huge distances at blinding speeds, and also helps them to cover water bodies easily when there is not much to web into while swinging. But there is one small caveat that I didn't quite like much about it, and your mileage may as well vary. The web wing feature is not suit based, so you can activate your web wings with all the suits available, which is a bit illogical, but it's just a minor nitpick that doesn't take away from the fact just how satisfying it all feels. And gliding through New York at such speeds without hitting a barrier in sight feels so smooth. Feels like a broken record at this point, and to borrow from IGN, but this gameplay really makes you feel like Spider-Man this time around. I can't keep gushing on it enough. Combat too is satisfying, fast-paced and in your face as ever. It just flows like butter. Whether you are doing it for the first time or the 100th time, it never gets old. The new abilities that you can unlock looks great in action. There are skill trees separately for Peter and Miles, and one skill tree that is shared. So progression is very well balanced between the two characters. Also of course the elephant in the room, or shall we say the symbiote in the room, that is Venom abilities, which are just venomously sick. I mean, it's mind-blowing at this point just how right Insomniac can get everything about Spider-Man. The moves that you can unlock with Venom abilities just matches the rage of Venom so well, it's fucking insane. In the words of the most truthful developer Todd Howard, it just works. Fast travel is now actually faster. Once again, thanks to the insane load speeds of the PS5, fast travel no longer fades to black screen or plays any train animation. It just drops you swinging in the area you wanna travel. It looks so fucking cool and innovative. This is probably the best looking fast travel I have seen in a game, and when you are praising the fast travel of a game, you know the game is good. But the real attraction is character switching, which again feels great. With PS5's hardware, the ability to switch seamlessly between the characters is fast and satisfying. You can switch between Miles and Peter at any time in the game, and the game drops you right with them, doing random stuff. Imagine something like GTA 5's character switching, except this time it's instantaneous. Although seamless, some story and side missions are restricted to particular Spider-Man only, which is definitely expected. What can I possibly say about Insomniac's technical capabilities with the PS5 graphics that has already not been said? Spider-Man 2 looks stunning. A detailed graphics comparison between the first game and this one is coming up on the channel right after this video is published. You don't wanna miss that. I have shown all the improvements you can expect from the first game in terms of graphical fidelity. In short, this is a significant overhaul from the first part. The beautifully crafted New York City and the newly added Queens boroughs looks amazing. New lighting conditions and extended draw distance, hugely increased traffic and pedestrian density, proper lighting and more natural color grading make everything pop out and look stunning. Visually, Spider-Man 2 is jaw-dropping. The day-night cycle adds vibrancy to the city, and the attention to detail in the textures and graphics while traversing the park or midtown campus is evident. World building is much more detailed and beautiful this time around. Another area that has got a facelift is the character facial animations and expressions. They feel more lifelike and human-like. While you might not see a sea change in the actual quality of the character faces, as it still retains a bit of stylistic look to its characters and not hyper-realistic, something like say The Last of Us Part 2, but the actual animation of those faces has been hugely improved upon. They talk, smile and fight like real human beings now. Attention to suit design and details is remarkably good too. However, coming to the suits that we have this time around in the game that we can unlock are not something that I liked. All the suits are a bit too fantastical and not very Spider-Man. No, I will not make my Spider-Man look like a cheap magician by making him wear capes, or a homeless musician by giving him a mohawk. Call it my problem, but I am a bit disappointed with the selection of suits this time around, not to mention the fact that around 10 suits are locked behind the deluxe edition, with no way to unlock them in the game, which is a bit scummy from Sony. The suits also show wear and tear during fights, which adds an additional depth and touch of realism. Visually speaking, Spider-Man 2 is a work of art. I will not go into much details with the story, because I want you to experience it firsthand, without practically no knowledge. But still, without giving any spoilers, I can only say the story of Spider-Man 2 is fucking incredible, with a capital I. As someone who is a sucker for Spider-Man media, from comics to films to games, I can confidently say Spider-Man 1 and 2 has the best story yet in any Spider-Man media I have ever consumed. And I have consumed an unhealthy amount of Spider-Man media, believe me, in my lifetime. Character arcs are so well maintained and the character development is so good that you might even empathize with the villains. Special mention to the side missions this time around. If there was one major area of complaint with the original Spider-Man and where it lacked severely were the quality of its side quests. They were bland, generic, too gamey and checklist driven. There was no organic feel to it, and it came out in a year when we had the side quests of Red Dead Redemption 2, which are arguably some of the best in gaming. This time around, however, a lot has been done to mitigate this problem. Side quests this time are much more meaningful and has some purpose that ties in nicely into the main story. You will see characters that you don't expect to see in side missions, with complete cutscene based story arcs and plot points. Even the open world activities feel quite a bit better than the previous one. Still, don't expect side content to be anything like say The Witcher 3 or RDR 2, but they are a marked improvement from the previous title, no doubt about that. So that was it folks, that was everything I wanted to say about Spider-Man 2 after playing the game for the last 2 weeks. This is the ultimate Spider-Man video game experience you can imagine, well, at least until Spider-Man 3 comes around. It's perfect because it's more Spider-Man. If you liked the first game, you will love this one. It's everything that you have loved about the first game, just more of that, constantly, in your face, and in a manner that just feels so well done, that I almost feel bad for any other developers trying to top this. This is a brilliant Spider-Man game with a fantastic story and exceptional quality. I know I said this is not a review, but if I were to give a review score on this one, this will easily be at least a 9 upon 10 game for me. You take away the disappointing suits and some occasional graphical issues and some other nitpicks I had with it, it's almost a perfect 10. Yep, it's that good. Please play Spider-Man 2 if you have a PS5. Now if you'll excuse me, I will go and platinum the heck out of this game. Stay subscribed as much more Spider-Man 2 content is coming up on the channel right after this video. Stay safe folks, and I will catch you on the next one.